I think our town needs a white hat style.
Some kind of ceremony. Yeah.
But as far away from that as we can think.
Certainly.
Yeah, black hat, blue hat.
No,
Exactly.
that's exactly what I mean.
Half
exactly
hat.
not what I mean.
Yeah.
Maybe just
Beige hat, off-white hat.
Stop
maybe
it.
getting your hair done.
I said as far away.
Yeah.
Not as almost as far away.
Never had.
Well, there's just a town hairdo that you're afforded.
You've got the town perm.
Hi, everybody. Welcome to our new podcast, The Town Show. I'm Mark.
And I am Ryan.
You might know us from some shows we've done before.
Yeah,
Like
we've collaborated on other podcasts.
Yeah, Let's Make a Sci-Fi, Let's Make a Rom-Com, Let's Make a Horror.
Let's Make a.
Yeah, just Let's Make a in general. We also do improv here in Vancouver, Canada, and with a group called the Sunday Service.
It's a legendary improv group. Legendary because we've just been we're old.
Yes, and either way, if no matter where you've heard of us from, you probably haven't. If you haven't, I don't know why you're here.
Yeah. Get out.
Yeah, leave. You're not welcome.
No, but we're so excited because we've got a brand new podcast, and this is it. It's The Town Show.
Yeah, and this is how it works. Yeah. We're building a fictional town.
Yeah, an imaginary town.
In our minds and in your minds.
Yeah.
Right now we have nothing.
Absolutely nothing.
But we're going to start building lore.
Yeah.
We'll build people who live there.
Yeah, people who will come back to the people who live there.
We'll create landmarks.
Yeah, and monuments and stores and businesses.
Yes.
And local celebrities and stories. And we'll do this all with the aid of a different special guest every week.
Yeah, the special guests will come in and they will help aid in us creating new parts of the town that we'll do improv scenes from, and we'll just also interview our special guest about where they're from.
And everything that we build with that special guest stays in the town, and bit by bit, week by week, we will build up this crazy imaginary town that you can come visit anytime you want.
Yeah, and today, our first guest, the inaugural guest on our new podcast, The Town Show, is none other than comedian Peter Oldring.
That's right. Tell me about him.
Well, Peter has been in a lot of things. He's the co-creator of the very successful, huge CBC radio show, This Is That.
Yep.
You might also recognize him from Netflix's House of Cards. He was on FX's American Crime Story.
Nice.
And you might even know him as being the voice of Ezekiel in Total Drama Island.
He's hilarious, and we hope to make you laugh with him together.
Yeah, we hope to make you laugh with him together.
But also to gather some ideas, to get some ideas for our improv.
We want to make you laugh with him together. Ideas.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We'll do a little interview segment where we'll find out from our guests where they're from. You know what I mean? The towns they grew up in.
Yeah.
And we can use those ideas to generate some fun ideas for our town.
Yeah, it's a segment we called Where You From.
Where we called it that. Where you from?
Where you from? But we might change the name of that segment.
It's only written in pencil.
That's right. Just like everything we do. Welcome to The Town Show.
The Town Show.
Where did you grow up?
I was born in Drayton Valley, Alberta. So
Whoa, stop right there.
Yeah. And is that the town that we've created?
No,
already?
we have not. For sure, we're not setting our town in Alberta.
I could recreate that town where I was awarded in the month of September a spoon for the heaviest baby born that month.
No way.
Wow.
Yes.
Why would you need a spoon?
Yeah. Well,
That child does not need a spoon.
yeah, that child might need not a spoon.
Yeah.
That child just like lots of water and a small treadmill. Okay, no, he'll just let him crawl out of it. He's fine.
Biggest baby born that month in Drayton, of course.
In Drayton
So
Valley.
many qualifiers.
There's a lot of qualifiers, and
It feels like you might have been the only one born that month.
it's possible they needed to just get rid of those spoons.
Yeah, exactly. There's we made too many spoons.
Town council.
Yeah.
Give them away to babies for various reasons.
God.
But why? It seems like such a slow drip way to get rid of our spoons.
Get out of my office.
I will. Hey, can I have a spoon?
Yeah, take a spoon.
So can you tell me the
Drayton
population estimate?
Oh, God, sure I could, because it's just an estimate.
Exactly.
10,000. I don't know, because I really
looking it
did
up.
leave there shortly thereafter. We would then went
You
to...
got your spoon and you got out.
I got my spoon. We got out. We were there. We got what we came for. We got that spoon. My parents were just looking around. If he pops out at 9 pounds 11 ounces, where are we going to get some?
Okay.
We went to Drayton Valley, and then we went down to Castor. Then, really, I moved to Calgary when I started to go to school in Calgary, so kindergarten all the way upstate in Calgary until past university.
Yeah. So sorry to interrupt.
No.
But most Calgary is mostly where you're from.
Yes.
But is it Drayton Valley or Draytonville?
Drayton Valley, but I'm curious about Draytonville now. I think I've got a pitch for the name of the town.
No, I misheard, or I typed it in. Anyway, Drayton Valley, I got it here.
Draytonville.
Yeah. There is no Draytonville.
Talk about an edgy town.
Your blood's boiling.
Dracula town.
You overestimated.
Oh, are we 7?
7,291.
Oh my! And that's now. I mean, back then, I think it was just our family.
Yeah.
And maybe a tent. And my dad was the doctor. He had the spoon.
Yeah.
Congratulations,
and I'm never
Bonnie.
giving the spoon up, you see.
That is such a small town.
Yeah, that's a small town. Well, my father was at that time a small town pastor.
Wow.
In the United Church. And his father, before him, was a minister at the United Church.
Wow.
And he, after going to he was in the Second World War as a pilot. After being in the Second World War, he said after that he was devoting his life to becoming a minister.
Peace and
love.
Yes.
And so that started him in the United Church. And then my dad was a United Church minister for a little bit of time. And then other sort of, he then opened up a whitewater rafting company and
hold on.
He had a lot of stuff going on.
ABC sort of situation.
I mean, it all centered around water for him. The baptisms and then moving straight into that whitewater. So when I was little, he was a small town minister at the United Church while he was sort of going to university. And then when we moved to Calgary, he was, he was teaching and doing as a minister, and then also started a whitewater rafting company, and then got into business consulting. So that's the long story.
Yeah.
And I could shorten that.
Were and are churches important to you growing up?
Not really. Interestingly enough, although that was what my dad did on Sundays, there was not really any kind of religious overtones in our life. For instance, Sunday morning, Dad would be down in the basement going over what he was going to do.
Cooking up a sermon.
Fortnite.
Yeah, he was down there, doing what he did to just kind of get ready to preach.
So I bring this up because, obviously we're doing this town show. Does the town need or want some kind of church?
Well, listen, there's so much activity and life around a church. You know what I mean?
Yes.
And also, just as the preacher's son, a lot of attention is on you. I love those dynamics of people who have to be there, who want to be there,
well,
and
and
there for various reasons.
It becomes like this. It is in small communities, something like that becomes a community touchstone once a week.
Yeah.
Any event that happens. Everyone makes different foods and comes into the basement rumpus area of the church, and there's the rumpus of the church, and that's what we used to call it, as I recall, the church's rumpus. And you'd go there with your finger sandwiches, and that's where whatever would happen.
A rummage sale.
Well, I mean, I think
rummage sale.
Rummage sale, sure, yeah. You rummage through a
dance.
Sure, it's a church dance,
but community is churches bring community to small towns, which is why, which is why they're so important to people. Other you find community other ways. I'm not a church guy, but you do find, but they're so important, especially in small towns.
Yeah,
and was that the case in Drayton
Valley, Alberta? Because I was so young, I actually don't have any recollection.
Because you were 0 to 6 months.
0 to 6 months, and I was so fat. I was such a large baby. You know what I mean? It was just I couldn't even hear. My ears were so full of
that
fat.
Fat baby a spoon.
God, where's it? Which is the head? I can't even figure this thing out. It's just round.
Yeah.
I have no recollection of that. It was when we moved to Calgary that I began to have recollection, and even then, my dad, the church that he was a minister in was outside of Calgary. So it was nothing. And so to be going out to that church, it was kind of like everybody who had their farm in the area would be at this small ancient church. And you know what I mean? So even it felt as though all the neighbors, all of the people in that area would simply be there on Sunday.
And okay, so let's talk. That's great. Were there people in or around the church, or even just in Drayton? You probably don't remember Drayton well enough for this.
No.
Like, were there characters? Like, were there town celebrities that you can remember that were like that were just, you see them, everyone knows who they are?
Yes. I mean, I don't have a recollection of that time there, because I was so fat. I was so young. And but I do remember, I had my own troubles, at 6 months. You know what I mean? My cholesterol was through the roof, and
the paparazzi's all over
God,
you.
You're just, you're just trying to
There
crawl.
he is.
crawl
There
yourself
he
out of
is.
it.
You're just trying to eat
The
some
biggest
yogurt.
baby.
Fat Greek yogurt
no
with your
more,
spoon.
no more fucking milk. I can't. I'm too big.
I can't.
It's coming out everywhere. Stop.
That wasn't
Stop
a trophy.
it.
You got a scarlet letter, and it was in the form of a tiny spoon.
Oh my goodness! I mean, I'm still losing my baby fat now. Did you know that? My most recent physical, it's still 7 more pounds.
Yeah.
It's just all that baby fat on your feet.
You can't lose feet fat.
You can't lose feet fat.
It's impossible.
It's so hard.
I mean, it's all you've got to do all those, foot kind of crunches.
Yeah.
Gravity's going right down to your feet. Everything's going to your feet.
Sinking down.
Yeah.
It's gout, right?
Sinking
Doesn't
down.
gout make your feet swell?
Hot air rises, fat goes to the feet. Yeah.
Not a thing.
I mean, I keep on losing shoe sizes, and I'm still not anywhere near where I'd like to be.
Not your goal shoe size.
I'd love to be done with 7.
I'm at a 10 and a half.
I mean, no. Well, listen, a lot of that you got to get rid of.
Are you at an 8 right now?
No, I'm a 14.
Oh, and your goal is 7?
I mean, I've got
This is never gonna get there.
so much. I mean, I'm off milk now.
Yeah.
I haven't had formula or milk in years.
Formula.
But I'm noticing differences. My laces fit differently, but I've got to get down to a 7.
Yeah.
I appreciate that.
Yeah.
I feel the same way. Like
A 7 is
About
a
me?
nice formal shoe size.
yeah.
No, I mean, you could do a beautiful gentleman's dance shoe would be in a 7. I feel Prince might have been in a 7.
Fred Astaire might be a
sure.
7.
Fabulous.
Nimble little
With a
foot.
small lift in there.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Be nice.
Ryan, what do you wear?
Me? I'm a
What do you
9.5. Well,
9.5.
9 on one, 9.5 on the other.
How do you
Beautiful.
How do you stay up? You're so tall.
Do you think?
So tall on little pinheads.
Yeah.
He must have been a tiny baby.
Yeah, you must.
Actually, no, I
Ryan, you
was
were big.
huge.
I
I
knew.
was-
I
Really?
know that you were big. I don't
I was
know why.
huge.
Let me hear some numbers.
I was big too.
Spoons?
I was 18 pounds.
What? Coming out? Or just at some point in your childhood?
At some point in my childhood.
Mark,
18
you were not
pounds.
18. What were you?
I mean, 18. Could you imagine the thud of that coming out?
Do you know that my head?
Boom!
Take the spoon back. He's too big even
God.
with a spoon.
He
My
just
head
ate
is-
the spoon. He ate the damn thing.
My head is so big that when I gave my measurement to a costume person once, she was like, "That can't be right. That's Andre the Giant size."
No, really,
You and Audrey the Giant size head.
really. Is this still true?
Well, it's because I have
I mean, you do have huge cheeks. But everything else looks normal.
I think she was wrong that's how big my head is, and also I do have a big. I do have.
Well,
a
there's
big
no
head.
way. No,
Well,
Andre
yeah,
the Giant
no.
would have had a huge head.
It would
No, he,
have
like-
been epic. I'd love to
Yeah.
know the weight of that child.
Yeah.
Of an
Oh,
Andre the
He
Giant.
would have gotten the spoon if he was born
Huge.
the same month in your town. I'm sorry, Peter.
They would have walked over with a spoon and said, "You know what? Go
Yeah.
get the shovel because this just looks wrong."
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, he would
Get the shovel for this kid.
So,
Yeah.
like, can you think of anyone? This is not that we're not putting your feet to the fire here. I don't like it's
Not
it's,
well, and maybe that's what I need to get them
Yeah.
down in that
Is
7.
there-
Burn off some of that fat.
Like-
okay. Maybe that's what it is. Get some heat on these things.
and I hope I bring up Don Schrader as often as possible on this podcast. But when I grew up in Albuquerque, there was a
Yes,
a naked man, Don Schrader, and he was just like
Local flavor.
local flavor activist, and he would stand on Central Avenue,
An
which,
activist for nudism.
for all things
For all
like
things.
like anti-war. He had really great messaging.
He was a nudist and had other other things.
Yeah.
Feels like New Mexico would be a rather warm place to be a nudist too.
Well, I think it worked for him mostly. Like sometimes he would have a little like cute little jean, like denim fur vest on if it was really cold. But it was like so tiny.
Yeah.
And he wouldn't stand. He wasn't allowed to stand completely naked because he wouldn't be able to like hold his placard. So he would wear the tiniest thing.
Yeah.
But everyone in the city knew who Don Schrader was.
Yes,
Everyone.
Yes. Yes.
And-
a local,
And like just a
celebrity.
full-on local celebrity.
Yeah.
And then there was a guy there was this restaurant called Banditos, and there was a guy that would just stand outside on the corner and point at Banditos wearing a nacho.
Wearing a nacho.
Wearing a
My God, and he wasn't the nudist?
what's
One
the
nacho.
What's this guy?
the Mexican wrestling master called
Move that chip lower, sir.
Luchador.
Luchador. I was going to say Nacho Libre because of the Jack Black movie. He'd wear a luchador mask and just like point. Everybody knew that guy because it was like a very big.
What was he pointing at?
The restaurant.
Oh, he's like, here, come
Banditos
here.
Hideout, yeah.
Was he hired by them, or this was just something that he did? This was somebody who just
it came to pass he was hired by them, but it was like this thing of
But it was after months of him pointing at
who is this guy?
We have to
God.
sign him.
Business has doubled since that guy's been out there.
There's
Money.
There's a lawyer called Ron Bell.
Yes.
And he was like for sure a local celebrity because he has commercials on TV, you know, and it would always be, he would align himself with like other local celebrities to like make his ads, you know, and he was like just one of those like, so anyway, Calgary must have people like that.
Yes. Well, you know, I mean, at that time too, back in early Calgary days, there was a politician named Ralph Klein. You ever heard his name?
I don't.
Okay, he was a mayor of Calgary at one point, and he had some notoriety because as the mayor, he would go, I don't know, every couple of days down to the diviest bar in Calgary and just have beer with people. And really, like a downtown dive bar was like the King Eddie or something like this. And I mean, you know, this is sort of on a different level because he was already had notoriety as a mayor, but just that idea of like somebody in public office who then also has this kind of, you know, man of the people, strange, just drinking beer with, you know, whoever wants to.
And it
sit
worked
down
well
and
for
drink
him
with
because he was an alcoholic too.
Exactly.
So he's like, how can I turn this into some
like make this look?
Because I need a drink. I'm gonna drink.
And if I do it with these guys, I'm kind of a man of the people
You know what I
type.
mean?
That's genius.
You know, I save money. The city saves money.
Yeah, it's all a write-off for him.
yeah.
So it was
Ralph
great. But when I think about Calgary, you know, there was always, because the Stampede is such a big event there, the greatest outdoor show.
Is it related to being white-hatted, or is that a different
A white-hatted
tradition?
is also, you know, it would be sort of an honor bestowed upon.
It's the greatest honor you can get in Calgary.
It's true.
And
It
you've been
really
white-hatted.
is.
I have been white-hatted.
Yeah.
Yes.
Have you?
Yes.
Chris, have you? Producer Chris?
I just watched.
Yeah, he saw the white hatter from about 16 feet away. It was a very impressive moment for him too. So
So you and Pat got white-hatted.
Pat and I got white hatted.
My
Pat
white hat
Kelly.
experience was so funny because we were waiting on a check. The Sunday service were like in Calgary doing the Calgary something festival, comedy festival. We were like, we desperately needed money, and like our contact at Calgary was like, "Hey, meet me in the lobby. I've got what you're looking for, basically." And we were like, "Oh, finally, our check." And we got down there.
And you got a white hat.
We are here to tell you that you are pronounced and forever a friend. Like it was this is what you're like. Where's the check? And we had no idea what an honor it was.
Yeah.
And we were so clouded with like that we need our $500.
Is the check in the hat?
Yeah, exactly.
Check around the brim.
Okay.
Maybe it's part
Keep
of it.
looking in the hat.
It's got to be in there.
I think our town needs a white hat style.
Some kind of ceremony.
Yeah. And so I'm just taking off of this conversation so far. We like a ceremony would be great.
And this is
Like-
what you do, Mark. This is what you do.
Yes.
You've pulled it out of us. We didn't even know it was happening. This is amazing.
We need a white hat style thing.
Yeah.
But as far away from that as we can think.
Certainly.
Yeah, black hat, blue hat.
No,
Exactly.
that's exactly what I mean. Exactly not what I mean.
Yeah.
Maybe just
Beige hat, off-white hat.
Stop
Maybe
it.
getting your hair done.
I said as far away.
Yeah.
Not as almost as far away.
I never had.
Well, there's just a town hairdo that you're afforded.
You've got the town perm.
If you to bestow the greatest honor, and it goes to the same salon every year, whenever they sit down, it's like, yes, you get the town perm.
I don't want it.
No,
You
I'm afraid we love you too much.
So you get a town perm. I think that's canon.
That's great.
Is that our first? Is that our first? Yes.
Well, hang on. So it is our first idea that we want to do.
Right.
We in our kind of breakdown idea of how the show will go. We will vote on things at the end.
Of course.
And so we actually need someone to take notes, which Chris, of course, is on.
Fabulous, Chris.
So we'll. I think in a little bit. Not too long from now, we'll do a scene of somebody getting the town perm. I want to do that little scene.
Nice. Oh my God! It's the honor.
But think about why.
And like not everyone can get a perm.
Why would this person get the town perm?
Just not working. Fuck it. Give him a wig. Give him a wig. For those that have no hair, but we still want to honor.
They get the
let's
town
fit
perm
you with this. They actually fit him with a wig that's straight hair, then they cut it and perm it because they want the person to have the experience.
exactly.
Okay, part of the honor is the experience of sitting in the chair.
Or if they already
have to wear the long-haired wig for a week, so it feels like their
so it looks like their
so
hair.
that people really begin to know them as,
I see.
David.
Yeah.
Oh,
nice.
did you see David's getting primed for town perm?
Prime. He's got his perm prime on.
No one deserves it more for his work as town controller.
I disagree. I don't like David getting the town perm. I think David doesn't deserve it.
Why? But David's done such a good job as a town comptroller.
Exactly, as the comptroller.
David's a cuck. Moving on. So we want that. We'll do that.
That's nice.
Also from this conversation, I do want to have an award for a baby.
A baby award.
A baby award. Like
baby
anytime a baby's
award.
born, I think there's something should come out of that.
Something is gifted to the child, to the mother, to the family, to the extended family.
Yes.
Everybody walks away a winner.
Yeah.
I was excited for the baby, but then,
Yeah.
oh my God, the China ware was incredible.
I love the size of Drayton Valley of 7,000. It's very small.
Well, that's a town.
Yeah.
I think a city is technically 10,000.
Is that true?
I think that's a
That's
city.
where the cusp is.
Chris is going to look it up. I think that's a really good thing to know.
And I know that from Sim City, the Super Nintendo
Of course,
game.
I'm very familiar with it.
That was a PC game
Absolutely.
before it was a Super Nintendo game.
Things got exciting when you'd put in an airport.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I had to take out a loan.
And if you did you allow disasters when you played it?
I did not.
Oh, right.
Yeah.
Not after all that hard work.
I never allowed disasters.
I don't need some tornado coming in and ripping up my downtown.
I
Well-
just put in mass
thank you.
transit.
Speaking of which, I think we should maybe allow, without getting too dark, there maybe can be things that happen like natural disasters
well,
in
sure.
our town.
Well, there's always a threat.
There's always a threat.
Because it sort of harkens back to what flattened the town 100 years earlier.
Yeah, there's just like
So-
a big boulder on top of a.
So with a toothpick.
So
At some point, it's gonna go.
this is the thing. So
the boulder.
So structure of like you always see that the town's on stilts, and then people have basements. So like what kind of houses are built in this town based on what natural disasters they're trying to prepare for?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
They should be hilarious natural disasters.
Yes.
The
Yes.
funniest.
Yes, like as was it something we joked about eons ago, just a wind that goes directly down.
The downwards.
What a weird.
Just out of nowhere, the sky opens up and just blows so hard down. Roofs are just
down.
flattened. People are just pressed down.
Everyone's hair looks exactly the same. It's like all mushroomy.
It's the downwind.
Oh no, my perm!
Yeah. Well, it's funny because you have the Chinook in Calgary.
It's true.
What
Yes.
would you call the downwind? I guess the downwind.
It's a downwind, a downdraft. It does feel like that is something that should happen, like a space wind.
Yeah.
There's no space wind.
There should be
Come
space
straight
wind.
down.
It's
There
gonna
should be space
happen.
wind.
It's gonna
Yeah.
happen.
Yeah.
A straight downwind's gonna happen, and then it's gonna go up, and then we're gonna have all that. Yeah.
It goes down, it collects things, and
then it
takes
goes
it back
up.
up.
Yeah, it's just a
Holy
thief.
Shit.
It only shows up at Christmas. It's a real Grinch situation.
It's a thief.
It comes down,
like a
takes
theft wind.
all your
It's
presents,
like,
and it's
oh
gone.
My God, see you later.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm just gonna get the vibe of the
Can I
people.
also-
Yes.
I love that we were talking about local celebrities.
I do too.
You know what I mean?
yeah.
Like small town neighborhood, like one I would just put in Vancouver at there was a breakfast place, Bonds
on Broadway.
on Broadway, Bonds off Broadway, Bonds on Broadway, and I was the first time I was there, I was a 21-year-old kid, just loving life, just like being 21, and sat down, had breakfast, and this guy came over and poured coffee for us, and he was like, "Hey, partner, how do you want some coffee?" Everyone called him the coffee cowboy. He was a coffee cowboy. He's refilling coffees, and as soon as he went away, the person I was having breakfast with was like, "It should be told to you that the coffee cowboy does not work for Bonds. He doesn't work. He famously is not employed by Bonds. He just refills coffee, and that's what he does. He's the coffee cowboy."
Wow.
Yeah. And that was like
Wow.
a
That's
tiny.
so good.
Yeah.
After the break, we finally start building the town, and Peter pitches us some citizens.
I love it.
Okay,
Yeah.
we're back, and Peter, we asked you in an email,
Yes.
in a very
So
professional email.
we can find the receipts.
Yeah,
Oh
we
my
can't
God!
find-
I'm sorry. To which account did you send this?
No,
It was a
you
mail
responded.
excite account. It was Peter
I-
Oldring at mail
That's
excite.
strange.
You responded to this
Oh
one.
yes, no, that
At
one.
Mail
Yes, of course.
Excite.
Yes. Oh, that inbox.
We asked you to
Very
pitch
full.
a couple of characters / citizens that would inhabit our town. Let's put it that way.
Okay.
Yeah.
Visiting, living.
Yeah,
Yes.
come to and fro,
Yeah.
live there, grown up there, move there, work
I
there.
had a small lore
Nice.
that led into, and this actually pertains to the conversation.
Great.
I had a small lore that I had crafted, that then sort of birthed this character that I was thinking of. Do I go into the long-winded version?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, we do.
I want you to imagine, you can keep your eyes open or closed, it's up to you. I want
I'm
you to
gonna wink.
imagine, oh my God, are you winking at me? I want you to imagine a fountain. This is
This is great.
not a drinking fountain, obviously.
Yes.
This is an ornamental fountain,
ornamental
larger than a hot tub, smaller than a pool. It's big.
Yeah.
It's made of stone. The water that fills the fountain is from an underground river
Nice.
that for years and years and years before the town was there, it was rumored that the waters have a healing quality. Okay. And so they go into this fountain, and this fountain is known, not only in the town but beyond, for being a healing waters. People have come for years to come and either soak what ails them in the fountain, or if it's an intestinal thing, you'll take a sip of the water.
Yeah.
Okay, which is part of the
Counterintuitive.
problem
Yes.
with why some
Love it.
people aren't getting healed.
Yeah.
Because of course they're drinking what other people have soaked.
Exactly.
But in any case, or maybe that's what's healing them.
Exactly. Depending.
It's hard to know. Science could tell us, but the town people can't.
Yes.
The fountain is known to have given birth to 7 miracles. The 7 miracles, the first 2 were soldiers from the Great Invasion.
Okay, wait.
You're bringing so much lore. The Great Invasion. Yes.
yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Great.
Okay,
That's the first 2.
That's the first
That's the
2.
first 2.
But-
Soldiers from the Great
yes, okay,
Invasion.
and they are the only documented. They are the only documented healings of this fountain, the 7 miracles.
Okay.
The only living person.
7 miracles.
Right.
The only living person to have had one of these 7 miracles is the person who had the 7th miracle.
Okay.
And he lives in the oldest house in the town, which is the original house in the
house,
town that
yeah.
was his great grandmother's,
Yeah.
and was originally a brothel. And
You're taking some major swings, and I love it.
yes, he lives in this house, and around town is known as the only person that actually had one of the healing miracles happen
Yeah.
upon him.
Yeah.
And it was as a child. He has vague recollections of it, but he is the only person that can boast that. He in town lives alone in this house and has has never really worked because he's lived off of the riches of the family whorehouse from 200 years earlier.
Yes.
It was
Yes.
very popular back then.
Yeah.
And but the one thing that he does like to do is he likes to write. He's a writer, and the only thing that he is sort of known to write is once a week he has a column in the local rag, basically answering people's problems. So it's like a Dear Abby, Dear Abby, but he's kind of fields local town problems, or they can write into him, and he writes it once a week in the thing. And he is given this authority as a resource because, of course, he is the only living person to have experienced the miracle that is this town.
This is so good.
This is a long-winded way of saying my first character pitch is a guy that lives in a former whorehouse. But I like this idea that this guy is kind of known around the town. He's revered a little bit, but you know how, like, revered in a way where it's like you endow him as having some kind of something, but at the same time, nothing. You know,
is he regarded as like a Scrooge guy, or is he like, oh, that's the fool on the
it's kind of like it's like, you know, in sort of smaller towns, to be somebody who is of means, who lives in sort of like the biggest Victorian house in the thing, and it was kind of passed down from other family members. Like, he's kind of the oddball, eccentric, but is also maybe has a way with words.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? To be able to, like, you know, he's odd, but he does have a gift of words, and so
and I love that. And we're not there yet, but I would like to do some, when we have the character, do some letters.
Oh yes,
you know what I mean.
Oh yeah,
I could do some letters.
We'll do that really. I think we'll do that really soon. Actually, but a couple questions.
Yeah.
First of all, just a note. I think that the fountain we now have 3 of the. It's the fountain of 7 miracles.
There was 7 miracles.
Okay.
Yeah.
So the first 2 are from soldiers
the first
from
2 were
the Great Invasion.
The original. So the Great Invasion, of course, or we can whichever Great War.
Yeah, the Great Invasion.
No, I think
the Great
calling
Invasion.
it the Great Invasion,
Yeah,
which implies the town was
I love the
invaded.
Great Invasion. So I want to keep. I just want to.
I don't want to know anything about the Great
Yeah,
Invasion.
absolutely not.
no,
We're not
me
getting.
neither.
We're not getting there.
And everybody knows about it, but no one really. Oh yes, the invasion, of course.
Well, we're talking about the Great Invasion or the Invasion?
The Great Invasion.
Great Invasion. They ended all at invasion.
Yeah, there's been a few invasions. But I do like, can we talk about the fountain for a second?
I would love to.
Because I like, the Healing Springs gave us this fountain.
From a river.
Now, is it like a sulfuric, like hot spring type thing?
So
it's like a fountain that's like
It's like
Yosemite?
So this in my mind is like, it goes, this Healing Springs water, right? So this sort of predates the arrival of this fountain. It was kind of, rumored that this spring had this healing quality, and it goes back to these 2 soldiers, and
It might be why the town was formed.
Yes,
I don't.
right.
Not a bad idea.
Right.
It might.
Slow it down, Mark.
I don't know. We
This
got to make
episode-
decisions.
this
We
episode-
got to make
I
decisions.
mean,
But it's not a bad idea to put on the back burner.
yeah.
there.
So then, as monument to this springs, this fountain was built, sort of a stone fountain. And maybe out there, and then large, like, you could sort of sit on the edge of this fountain. Think of sort of like a European town square fountain almost,
Yeah.
And there's some kind of bronze statue. I saw. I
woke up
My
and I
bronze
saw.
statue is just simply 2 legs coming out of the fountain. The legs. And maybe this is what the soldiers, maybe their legs were healed. But these bronze legs, are coming out of the fountain, and from the toes, the water drips.
Oh, beautiful.
And,
That is beautiful.
In
and
the shape of a V?
in the shape of a V, and the water very courteously covers where the legs meet. So you would never be disgraced.
You know what would be
by-
nice about that? If they're different legs. Do you know what I mean? Like,
Oh yeah,
It's about the 2 soldiers.
two
like,
different
so they-
bodies. Like one has a boot.
So like when you're walking up from afar, you're like, oh, that's like someone's legs.
Yes.
You get closer, you're like,
Yeah.
oh no, that's one person's leg.
Yeah.
no.
And a fully different person's
Yes.
leg.
I mean, this leg is quite long.
Yeah.
And,
But more muscular,
toned.
yes.
And this is quite a stocky, misshapen. I can't tell the difference between calf and thigh.
Well, they're definitely not the same
no, my
leg.
God.
No.
I like the idea that the because the water covers up the important parts.
Yes.
that a town kind of saying is like, well, never shall we know where the legs do meet.
Yes.
And it just means like, well,
Yes.
we can't know what we can't see.
Yes,
And they go like, well, I don't know. Like they'll like having gossip. They'll be like,
Yes.
does Brenda? Does she?
Well, let me tee you up with a question. You'll say the statement.
Yeah, okay, great.
Okay, so so we're around the kitchen table, like,
Yes.
hey, does Brenda even know what she's doing applying for college like that?
I don't know. I mean, I guess never shall we know where the legs don't meet. Oh wait, no, I said it wrong.
Try it again.
Yeah.
Go back.
Never shall we know where the legs do meet.
Do meet.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Do meet.
Do
Okay,
meet.
do know.
That's something else. A dewy meat.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
Ron was so angry yesterday. He didn't get the promotion he wanted.
Right. Well, it's something in my throat.
Oh, is
your
everything
time.
okay?
Take your time. Take your time.
Okay, I hold new thing. Yeah, like
Okay, one more tee up.
Timothy didn't get elected to student council.
Oh, that's too bad. I wonder if he. Well, you know what? Never shall we know where the legs do meet.
I don't think you used that the right way.
I don't think I did
But
either.
I'm not teeing it up right. I don't think.
It needs to be.
Peter.
Yeah.
You know what? It made perfect sense to me.
It needs to be teed up in a way where it's like, where that makes sense.
Yes,
Peter, tee it up.
it would be like, I couldn't tell whether it was better to give him the money or to make him earn it.
Tell me about it. Well, never did we know where the legs do meet.
I don't think you've gotten it right yet.
Never do we know where the legs do meet.
Yeah, never shall we know. Never shall we know. Never shall
I
we
know
know where
what
the
it
legs
is.
do meet.
I know what it is.
Yeah.
What is it that's where the penis is on the body?
Well, never shall we know where the legs do meet. No,
I know what it
Peter,
is.
that's too literal.
That's not it, is it?
Is that what's on the fountain? Never do we know.
Yes,
Never shall.
never shall we know where the legs do meet.
Which is so confusing because, of course, they're two different legs.
Yes. But we always, the thing is that
those legs hopefully never did meet.
the answer is that I think it needs to
They
be like,
grafted someone else's leg onto him. That was the fountain miracle. The first one.
There's two different things going on here.
Okay.
And I guess that's what towns are. Lots of things at the same time.
There's a lot of maybe that's a.
I want to get this one right.
Mm-hmm.
Can you do like a why didn't I get the job when I was up for it?
Okay, yeah, great.
Like
Well, that was kind of what the promotion was, but yeah, I'll try it again. Here we
yeah, do the promotion one
go.
again.
No, here, I'm going to do this. I got the application in. I wrote the grant, and I had seniority,
Yeah.
and I didn't get the job.
I'm really sorry to hear that.
Thanks, Mom.
But honey, it just
Yeah?
it's just that
What?
it's what we always say. Never shall we know where the legs
They
do meet.
I know.
That's it. That's it. And I'm sorry for not getting the promotion one right.
No, I think
Was that our
I
first
think
on
we found-
podcast fight?
No. I was earlier. But also, I just want to put out there, we haven't named the town yet, but something Springs is not a
Yeah.
bad
That's a
name for a
It does.
town.
Yeah.
I mean, it does feel nice if these springs hold.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If we vote for them. Yeah, it's not a bad.
Well, and the idea of this fountain and people coming from all, see, then you have this problem because you actually, if the last miracle happened and it's like 60 years ago and this town is still supposed to be
right.
known for this healing water.
There's room for more.
Right.
There's room for more. And so there is a certain amount of stress over the
Yeah.
idea of some people are coming and sipping the water and then getting dysentery.
Now, Peter, do you
Yes.
have a name for this character? Does it matter at this point?
It
old
doesn't
man.
okay,
matter.
well, maybe we'll find it.
Yes, we will find it. I will lob out there. I have no attachment to it. It came to my mind. It didn't come to mind. You just say it, Barnaby.
Barnaby.
But
So
we don't know.
I want to just
Dear Barnaby.
get you into Barnaby right now. Let's just do Barnaby. I want you to be Barnaby.
Okay.
Obviously.
Sure.
And can you write a letter to Barnaby?
Yeah.
And I want Barnaby to respond.
Dear-
Oh my God.
In the paper.
Dear Barnaby.
It's Barnaby advises.
He responded in the paper.
Barnaby, please advise, : I've been trying to get this boy to ask me out to prom for a whole year. I'm captain of the swim team. I know what I'm doing with the ATV, and I am editor of the school paper, and yet still does not notice me for who I am. What can I do to possibly get an invite to prom, please? Sincerely, Cheryl.
Dear Cheryl, I'm so glad you reached out to Barnaby Advisors. You know, as the only living person who has had one of the 7 miracles performed upon his pippic, I like to think I have all the answers. But you know, Cheryl, sometimes we don't have all the answers. And in fact, sometimes leading so strong-hearted, boastful about all of the accomplishments one has had in life can be off-putting. It may make the person with whom you're trying to connect on a heart-to-heart level, make them feel somehow short of the mark. Maybe if you just walked up and said eye to eye, my past accomplishments mean nothing. What you've done in the past means nothing to me. But what we may be able to accomplish as a team in the future might in fact be the 8th miracle.
Okay.
I could be wrong. That's just Barnaby Advisors.
That's how you always sign off. I could be wrong, but that's just Barnaby
I
Advisors.
might be wrong.
Okay, so
That's
you're
what you get for living in a whorehouse.
I'm your dad. What did you say?
That's what you get for living in a whorehouse.
Okay, Cheryl, you just read the response.
Well, it's pretty good advice.
Hey, hon.
Hi, Dad.
Hey, did you read the response from
Yeah, it's
Barnaby
in the newspaper.
Advisors?
It's in the newspaper.
I know. I didn't know if you'd read it or not.
Yeah.
And you did read it?
I'm holding the newspaper.
Well, how did you feel about it?
I mean, it's kind of a hard pill to swallow, but I think it's something I should probably think about.
That's good. Well, never shall we know.
Why are you such a condescending? You're so condescending, Dad.
Am I?
Yeah. Ever since you went to New York to become a financier, and you came back to Summer Springs.
I went to become a financier to help you, your mother, your brother, your little brother, and your adopted little brother become a better family. And I don't need your lip or your nose or your attitude right now.
Why did you reference my nose?
Because you have 2 piercings,
Mm-hmm.
and I don't like them.
Look a little closer.
3,
No.
4,
Look closer.
6,
Look closer.
17,
Look closer.
18 piercings, Cheryl.
Look a little farther away.
17.
That's right.
Dear condescending Dad.
I wrote my own letter. Let's read the response.
Dear condescending Dad, certainly the pressures of making money to support your family can be a pressure too much for many to bear.
So far, I agree.
But constantly wearing as a badge of honor
Yep.
your days as a financier in
Wait a
New
minute.
York, when you've overlooked the number of piercings or bedazzlings your daughters put on her nose.
Wait,
It puts everything back into perspective.
I don't like this.
It's not about dollars in the bank. Sometimes it's about the jewels right in front of you. But I might not know. I grew up in a former whorehouse. That's just Barnaby Advisors.
I actually like that
he
he's
changed
always a
his
little bit
side
different.
up.
He's not like, I might be wrong or I might not know or I could be mistaken.
I could be clueless as a bat.
Okay, I want to see Barnaby being interviewed or being talked to by his the person who runs the newspaper. I want you to play that, Ryan.
Barnaby, listen, we need...
Oh, hello, Elliot. I didn't see you there. Apologies. I had my earbuds in.
No, I saw... I thought you were maybe on
Oh,
a
let me
call.
get them out. Hold on. Oh, shit, this one's stuck.
Yeah, you want me to help you? or-
No, just pull on the cord.
Yeah, okay.
There we go.
Yeah.
Yes,
Oh.
I was
Hey,
listening.
Elliot, your 4 o'clock's here.
Oh, I just need a few seconds with Barnaby.
Hi,
What do you want me to tell them?
Trina. I
Hey.
didn't realize you're here.
Hey, Barnaby.
Let me pop those earbuds back in.
No, don't.
Oh,
no, it's
sorry.
going to take you
I
so
thought
long.
that was a private conversation.
No, I was just popping in. Everything okay?
Everything's fine. I'm just talking to Barnaby about the thing.
Oh, the thing.
Oh,
I'll be right
the
back.
thing.
Barnaby,
Yes, Elliot.
you know the paper got bought by a new conglomerate.
Thank God.
The big city. Yeah.
Yes.
Well,
I'm assuming everyone's going to get a pretty handsome Christmas bonus this year.
that's kind of above my pay grade, but it's more about they have a hotshot advice columnist that they want to pair you up with.
Oh, yeah.
He's from the city.
Uh-huh.
He's a bit more edgy, I think, than Barnaby
sure.
advises. But I think what we want to like
I
join.
hope you told them to go fuck themselves.
Ding, ding. I hear my name. What's up?
Yeah, here's Earl. Go fuck himself.
My name's Earl. Go fuck himself.
So you're
Barnaby, I'm a fan and I love talking to you.
Yes, advice columnist from the city, aren't
That's
you?
right. I'm from a big city and I love talking about advice.
Yeah.
I got some advice for you. Stay true to yourself, man. I love what you do.
You don't want me to follow that advice to a T because that'll be the end of this relationship.
I don't know if that's a threat, a promise, or just some sort of cool thing you say, but Barnaby, I'm into it.
Look, why don't we try this out right now? I'm gonna do a. I'm just gonna do a kind of
A role play within a role play?
I'm gonna give you a letter, and you guys are gonna discuss it. So it's more of a discussion advice.
Understood.
Thing,
All
you know
Love
what I
it.
mean? So
Two
it's like crossfire,
perspectives,
two
of course,
perspectives.
certainly.
That sounds awesome, man. Let's do this.
Okay, so
Okay.
again, these are fake
Certainly.
letters. It's like very simple problems.
Of course.
I'm about the here and now.
This
Exactly.
isn't a problem you're having as example.
Exactly.
For
No,
example,
exactly. It's not. For example, it's not me.
This is not you.
Yeah.
Of course.
Okay. Yeah,
What's the problem?
Okay, so I invited a friend over to my birthday party, but he has vegan dietary restrictions. But
Okay, look, Barnaby, already, man.
I haven't finished.
Please finish.
Oh no.
I love vegans, man.
Well, no. Anyways,
Someone got their V card. I love it.
yeah. But I've already put all this money into catering. But now what do I do? Do I provide something for him, or should I tell him to show up with his own food? Sincerely, vegan party guy.
Let me go first.
Yes, you go into it.
What I'm going to say, a vegan to-go party. What was your name?
It was vegan party guy.
Vegan
To go is not
party.
not even close
Hey,
to
vegan
it.
party guy, what's up? Hey, man, I think you got to appreciate everyone's needs, wants, welcomings, and desires. So what you're going to do, you're going to take that menu you already have. You're look what's already vegan already. You're going to check those menus off. Click those, tap those out. Let them know. Then you do need to start spending money because you got to start figuring things out for yourself.
Sorry, let who know?
Let them know.
I see.
Let them know what's going on.
Yeah.
And then I would take that menu that you have for your stupid party and I would just let them know.
Yeah.
Let them know.
Okay, Barnaby, your rebuttal?
Is it a
Yes.
rebuttal?
Yeah, it's kind of a crossfire debate.
Oh, I didn't realize that.
Well, it's kind of like we're each a leg, and never shall we know where the two legs meet. Although here we found out where it is. It's with Party Guy. I had a vegan friend once.
God, I'm so glad you said vegan. I'm so glad. I wanted to do it, but I knew my character wasn't allowed to say vegan.
Vegan friend once. Took a little bit of time to do the research to figure out exactly what that meant. Certainly, there can be medical reasons why somebody may go vegan.
You seem to be very disdainful about even the proposition.
But I think more importantly, what we've discovered are people who are just too picky for their own good. You need to ask yourself, why be around someone that makes life more difficult than it already is? With things like global warming, tsunamis, flaming arrows. All of the challenges in life, why make it harder? My advice to you is give yourself a gift this year of surrounding yourself with yes people.
Sign off.
Oh, yes, of course. But then again, I may not know anything because I grew up in a former whorehouse.
I
But
love
that's
you, Barnaby.
Barnaby advises.
I think that's great. I think we really learned a lot about the town.
Oh my goodness!
and-
And veganism.
Yeah. And Barnaby, which
Sorry to interrupt the scene, but that I wanted to say vegan so bad because I think it's such a funny way to say vegan, and people still say it, and I love it so much.
It's
I'm
like,
so glad
where
you
is the mental hiccup there? Is it
Yeah.
they're thinking like pagans
Yeah.
and vegans?
Yeah.
Is that the same deal? Like,
I think sometimes it's
know.
deliberate. Sometimes it's deliberate. I want to
Yes.
mispronounce to troll you.
Right.
Like,
Yes.
Or-
I don't care to know enough about like it's
Yes.
vegan.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know.
It's in my household. We only say vegan, like because it's funny.
Yes.
Like
Vegan.
we just like would be like, oh, is Kevin vegan? You know what I mean? And like, well, like because I love the pronunciation.
Oh.
Okay.
Oh my.
Now what I want to do is we're gonna sadly we're gonna finish this episode.
Yeah.
Quite
Well,
soon.
we have some voting to do.
Well, the
Yeah,
good
so-
news is the town lives on.
That's
and
right.
So that's
Yes.
That's
the
right.
episode ends.
Yeah.
The town is just
So
beginning.
if Chris, do you have elements of the show that you think you can go down a list of that we'd like decide about?
Yes.
Okay.
Oh, fabulous.
Here we go.
So Chris Kelly, producer,
Yes.
is going to help us.
Also, boo.
Oh yeah, he's the villain.
Clap, clap.
This first one is, I think, an easy win. Some sort of ceremony that they
perm?
bestow. Yes, the town perm.
The town perm, yes.
In.
Yeah.
Do I get to vote?
Yes.
Yeah, you're gonna vote.
Yes, of course.
You
The
vote.
town perm.
Unanimous.
Delight.
Some of the details: you wear straight hair for a week,
You have to have a straight wig for a week.
and then they perm you. Yes.
Unless you have long enough hair to just wear your own hair.
Yeah, then you,
A downwind that only shows up at Christmas. It's a theft wind. It comes down, it steals things, and then brings it back up.
Okay.
Theft
It's a-
wind.
downwind.
I'm going to vote yes to downwind. I think it's too much detail on the Christmas. So I'm just,
Details.
It
I'm
becomes
gonna
a bit of a magical thing if it's a yeah, of course. If it's it steals your presents.
yeah.
Yes.
True.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
If it just unwraps them.
But I would say like if it's a downwind though, I would like it to be like a once in a blue moon situation. It's like it's like like tornadoes are always in Kansas.
Yes.
You know, it's one of those things, but it's like it happens
It's a local phenomenon.
a local phenomenon.
Yeah.
Yes.
And maybe it hasn't happened for many years, but it's like, but my grandmother had a downwind.
God. It took her down.
Yeah.
It pushed her down.
She was in
Like,
a
she
5-story
was
building, and then she was in a 3-story building.
Okay. And like eyes wide open, blown wide.
Your grandmother had eyes blown wide.
Okay, I'm gonna move quick here. I'm gonna
I know
move.
that.
Eyes
I'm gonna
blown
move
wide.
quick. I'm
Yeah.
gonna move quick on this. 'cause We've got a bunch
Yeah.
of things to get through. Healing fountain, 2 different legs.
Yes.
Healing
Yes.
waters.
Vote yes.
Healing
I vote
yes.
yes.
because it relates to never
So
shall we
much.
know.
I have to vote yes.
Yes. Yes.
The Great Invasion.
Yes.
Yes.
100%.
But I don't want to talk.
Something
I don't want to talk about it forever.
Don't talk about
I vote
it.
yes.
Okay,
Yes,
yes.
yes,
The 7 miracles. Here's the thing that you may not have caught, but we've established that there's a local newspaper. I think.
Ah,
We haven't
good
named it,
catch.
but there is because that's where Barnaby writes.
where Barnaby
for.
writes.
Local rag.
Yeah.
And there's a guy.
And then
runs it.
there's maybe a conglomerate that has
Yeah, Glamorous took it over.
Yeah.
assumed it.
Yes.
Yes,
That was yeah.
I mean, we have to have a local. I
Local
can't
newspaper.
imagine not having a local. So I'm going to say yes to
And
local.
I would also like a bigger we're buying up all the local newspapers because that's what's happening.
No, it is
Yeah.
what's
in
happening.
small town media.
Yeah.
They're being bought up and then they're being fired.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Great show.
Why Ryan's really evil laughing at this. So it relates so much to Barnaby, and Barnaby for me is a full-on yes. that I
Yeah.
can't-
Barnaby's full on yes.
Barnaby.
There's no way.
Never
could.
shall we know where the legs do meet.
Yes.
Is a full yes.
Yeah. God, you can just see that on the fountain.
Yeah.
Barnaby advises the column's name.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yes, a yes.
Yes.
Yeah, we can't even
It's a
vote.
very awkward column title. I wanted to do
But he's usually
different.
right. He's usually right.
Here's a thing that we kind of established, but it doesn't need to stick around. Cheryl is Cheryl. a
Great.
thing?
I was going to bring up Cheryl if you didn't.
Cheryl and Cheryl's dad, who's a financier.
I don't think we need to follow that story. I mean,
No.
it was funny. It was
It
fine.
was an example of a letter.
An example
Yeah.
of why somebody may reach out to said column.
Cheryl's an idea.
I did not catch the name of your advice columnist, so I don't know.
Also not canon. I
Not
don't like that
canon.
guy.
Okay.
I vote no on him.
One thing that isn't a vote, but I think is like, well, I don't know if it's a vote, but I think is like an important thing is that there has not been miracles in a long time. Is there concern over this
Thank you.
I love
thing?
that.
Like we're kind of in trouble.
Yeah. The town,
people are
the
getting really
identity
good.
of the town
Is at stake.
and that gives
Their
so
tourist
much.
identity, their cultural identity, like their
Their
founding identity.
interpersonal ideas about what
Everything.
it is to be a Blank Springs resident.
Yeah,
And
I went to
citizen.
7 Miracles High School.
Well, but that's not even related to this show.
And maybe it's also possible, like as an external thing, like somebody coming in to kind of figure out. Is there anything to these miracles? Like there's like an
an investigative reporter.
Investigative reporter. You know what I
An
mean?
FBI agent
Yeah,
or two,
yes.
you know what I mean? Like a supernatural.
Trying to find out where those legs do meet.
We're done.
We're draining that goddamn thing.
I'm Mark Chavez.
I'm Ryan Beal.
I'm Peter Oldring.
Thank you so much for listening. Peter, we love you so much. You're coming back next
my
episode.
God, I love you guys. Thank you.
The Town Show.
The Town Show.
Do you have an idea for the Town Show? Do you maybe want to pitch a citizen or a store or a trail? Then please email us at thetownshow@kellykelly.ca with all your ideas, good or bad, and they might end up on the Town Show.